All right, Jen Hale, you want to lead us off?
Hi there, Coach. Similar script to the season opener in that the defense seemed to get a bit better in the second half. What is it, though, that prevented you from closing this one out today?
Well, 19 turnovers, 19 fast break points for Miami, and I probably didn't use my bench enough, so we had some tired guys on the floor. We overused our guys trying to get back in it. I think we maybe ran out of gas a little bit. So those would be the three things I would say.
The backcourt seemed to struggle a bit in scoring, at least more than we would have thought.
Well, yeah, they had a tough night shooting the ball. Our three guards were 5 for 25, so it was a rough night, no question about that. But look, those kind of things happen. I'm not worried about that with guys. We have to start taking care of the ball, and we have to start running back on defense consistently. Those are just two things we should be able to take care of. And I got to do a better job with my rotation and a better job with our offense. And even our defense in the first half, we had too much confusion. When you have confusion on the floor, you got to take that as a coach.
Coach, what is causing that confusion? Is that just a product of not enough time on task yet with the new system?
Clearly, I haven't, some of those things clearly on our pick and roll defense, we haven't drilled enough.
Thank you.
Coach, you mentioned the bench. You're 2 games in. Is it a concern yet you're not getting enough productivity from those guys and really have to depend on the starters for the scoring?
Well, listen, Josh and JJ. Josh played well today, and JJ played really well on Wednesday. So we've had good production out of those two guys, and I haven't given anybody else a chance. So that's on me, Todd. I've got to start using those guys a little bit more and giving them minutes so they get a chance to produce, and so we're not as tired late in the game.
Coach, obvious frustration at the end of the ball game when JJ fouled out. You had a teachable moment with the other 4 guys. What did you say to the other guys on the floor as that game? Because JJ was pretty upset.
Well, we weren't running back on defense. I mean, we were taking shots, and then they were just running out. On the play he fouled out on, he was the one who shot the ball, and he was the only one back. So, that's just something that has to disappear from our game, that lack of effort in transition. It's a sign of a team that's not a good team, and that's not who we want to be, and I don't think that's who our guys are. I think over these first 2 games, our guys have shown a lot of fight getting back into games. But we've got to run back in transition. That was disappointing tonight.
Hey Stan, Christian Clark with NOLA.com. Duncan Robinson was able to get loose a little bit in the first half. What were just your thoughts on the way you guys defended him in this game?
Well, we didn't get matched with him once in transition. We got confused twice on cuts and curls where we weren't talking to each other, and he got open. And then he made a couple where he was just running full speed. I didn't think our defense was bad, and he hit shots. So it was a mixture of a lot of things. I mean, the guy is a great shooter, and he's going to have nights like that. But at least 3 of them are ones that we could have done a better job on.
What's up, Coach? This is Will Guillory. BI was hitting some crazy shots there in the third quarter, and then the fourth ends up going scoreless. What do you think you guys didn't do just to continue his run and have him kind of affect the game as much as he did in the third?
Well, again, I think 2 things. I think, one, we played him the whole third quarter, so really tired, and brought him back on short rest. I think he played 20 minutes in the second half, Will, in a second game after a 4.5-month layoff. So fatigue part of it, and probably not optimal play calling on my part either. But I think those were probably the 2 factors.
Hey, Coach, Andrew Doak from CBS in New Orleans. You kind of mentioned you didn't give some of the bench guys and bench players as much of a chance as you wanted to. And I'm assuming you're kind of alluding to maybe playing Zion and Brandon Ingram a little bit too much. Would that be fair to say? I mean, did you feel like it was just tough for them near the end to be able to keep up with how many minutes they played?
Well, it was probably a little too much, yeah. But we dug ourselves a big hole, and, you generally need your best players to get back in it. I probably played them too long, and in both of the games probably haven't played Nico and Jackson nearly enough to give them a chance to get into any kind of rhythm and be productive.
Hey, Coach, this is Fletcher from NBC in New Orleans. How do you thread that needle between being patient and knowing you have a team that hasn't played together with a lot of young players versus pushing them to do more of what you intend to thread that needle in a really fine way?
I really don't have a problem when we're getting great effort, and we have been getting great effort from our guys. When we're not running back defensively, things like that, that's not something that you can be patient with. The rest of it, yeah, I mean, when things are breaking down in confusion, that's coach's responsibility. You got to clear up what's going on and get guys to understand it. That's on me, and so I'm not upset about them on that. But running back on defense, and some of the turnovers are careless and sloppy and things that we have worked on and talked about. Probably a little less patient with those things.
Coach, it's David Grubb from Bird Rights. Can you just talk about the second quarter in particular and where you started to see things go awry? It looked like there were some miscommunications and, like I said, the defensive breakdown, particularly on drives, that allowed Miami to really get to the heart of the defense. What did you see out of that? Was it simple, was it player errors? Was it set calling, or was it something Miami was doing also, or just a combination of all of the above?
Well, look, they execute very well. I mean, they know their stuff. This is a team, obviously, that made a run to the finals and have been together and understand execution and things. And we had a lot of problems in our pick and roll defense in that second quarter, where we weren't locked into what we were supposed to be doing. I think our guys were confused as to what was going on. And that's something that we have to clear up. That's something that we have to work on the coverages, because, we struggled, and it was what they were doing in the half court. So, again, that's just something we're going to have to spend more time on, drilling and everything else.
Man, Scott Kushner from NOLA.com. Your starting backcourt, I think 4 of 18, 0 free throw attempts. What's your reaction to seeing that? Was that the way the game unfolded, or did those guys just never kind of get themselves in the next thing?
See, I'm a little, maybe a little different than you guys, in that I don't look at individual guys and this guy didn't play well and that's not what jumps out at me. Again, to me, it was 19 turnovers and 19 fast break points the other way, and confusion in our pick and roll defense, which I put on me, and our rotation in playing guys minutes, which is also on me. That's what I look at. I'm not pointing fingers at anybody. I mean, guys have good games and bad games. All three of them were fantastic the other night. Lonzo, Eric, and JJ were all great the other night. It comes and goes. I mean, you're going to get your production from different points every night, and nobody's going to play 72 games and shoot the ball well and all of that. That's not the interest. Take care of the ball, run back on defense, be more solid with our defense. We'll have a chance to win every night. That's where my focus is.
Great. Thank you, Coach.
All right, everybody, we'll go ahead and get started with Josh Hart. David Grubb, you can lead us off, please.
Hey Josh, this is David from birdrights.com. The game kind of got away in the second quarter. What happened there defensively with the communication? And then just why was it so difficult for guys to find an offensive rhythm this afternoon?
We made some defensive mistakes that we that we shouldn't have. So that was a lack of communication. We got to communicate a little bit better on that defensive end. I think it was 3 or 4 trips down in a row. They either got a 3 or got to the rim, and that really sparked a big run for them. So we just got to communicate better and eliminate some of that confusion off the ball. And then in terms of offensively, it's always tougher when you're giving up buckets on the defensive end, and you're coming back down and playing against a set defense. And I feel like we did a pretty good job of moving the ball. We could have did a little bit better, but I think we gotta. It stems from our defense. We got to get more stops and then go out there and play fast and play in transition. That's what we want to do, and everything stems from our defense. So we just gotta, like I said, communicate better, and we got a game on Sunday, so that's what we're gonna work towards.
What's up, Josh? This is Will Giller with The Athletic. Just, you guys did a better job in the second half, but what do you think was the issue kind of corralling Duncan Robinson and preventing him from getting some of those open looks on 3 of he got in?
Yeah, it's always tough for him. He's a mover. He moves tremendously, I guess, without the ball. Bam and those other bigs do a great job. Even the guards, they do a great job of getting him open and finding him and doing those kind of things. So, we just got to make sure we're always locked into a shooter like that and know that he's going to be moving consistently and, finding him. And, something that, like I said, we got to make sure we do, a little bit better. And, like I said, we got to communicate, whether we get hit on the screen and have to switch out, emergency switch or something like that.
Hey Josh, Christian Clark with Null.com. Stan talked with us in the last game about the defense. Did it seem like that was a point of emphasis, when you guys talked about the game afterwards?
You said the transition defense? Yeah, it's definitely something we talked about. We got to make sure we get back, and obviously we have some really good rebounding guards. Lonzo, Bi, myself, even Bled. So we just got to make sure if JJ takes a shot, all 3 of us can't go to the offensive glass. Someone has to get back. So we got to do a better job. Like I said, it all stems from communication, and we got to realize, if I'm up top and Lonzo and Bi are crashing the glass, especially late in the game where we're getting just one-shot possessions, and they were out there trying to corral an offensive rebound, trying to get us another possession. Whoever at that top, we got to realize that we have to get back. So, that just comes from obviously just continuing to play together, continuing to, know each other's strengths and see where, everyone is and realize where everyone is on the court. So, we got to get better at it, like I said, and luckily this is only game 2. This isn't game 68, and we're not in a dogfight to get into the playoffs. So we just got to learn from it and move on.
Hey Josh, this is Ollie with the Bird Rights. Coach talked about how the turnovers, the high amount of turnovers, and the fast break points Miami got were really detrimental. But he also pointed to maybe having the heavy legs on the team. He said he didn't go to the bench enough. Do you feel like in the fourth quarter you guys had some heavy legs out there?
I don't know, maybe, but like I always have the mentality of when you're tired, you gotta fight through it, and you gotta have those habits. And it was a very short kind of training camp, short stint going into the season that we were working on those habits, and I think we did a good job and with the time that we had. We just have to make sure when we're tired, we lock in even more mentally, physically. So we might have been a little bit tired, but when we're tired, that's when you have to rely on those habits that you built in training camp, and you just got to get better, because at the end of the day, the other team's tired too. So when we're tired, we have to have that dog mentality of, you know, I'm tired, you know, it's in the middle of the play, let's get this stop, and then let me tell coach I got to get out and get a breather. So that's the mentality we have to have, even if we're tired, and, you know, and just keep it moving.
John, last team yes in New Orleans, kind of away from the transition defense stuff when it comes to the half-court defense. You've kind of alluded to it a little bit, but how green do you guys still feel or inexperienced? And, you know, it was just a really short process this offseason with Steve Gundy coming in and, you know, teaching his defensive philosophies. I mean, how much more do you feel like you guys have to learn and to grasp it?
Oh, we got to learn a lot more. You know, we have the foundation of it, and now it's just the experience of it, of realizing the calls, or knowing when to switch, knowing what the other offense is doing. So that comes in with, you know, comes with time. Even myself, you know, there'll be times where I might be in the right position, or and I make the wrong read, or I make the wrong read and I'm in the wrong position based off of kind of what we did last year. 'Cause, you know, it's kind of totally different. So it's going to take a little bit of time, but we got to be professionals. We got to realize that it's a shorter season, and if we want to make it to the playoffs and we want to be the best team we can be at the end of the year, we got to start getting those habits down and getting that experience in as fast as we can, because we got game every other day, you know, for the next 70 whatever days. So there's not going to be much time to really go out there and drill it in practice. So we have to be able to watch the film of it, learn from film, learn from walking through, and, you know, get better. So it comes with experience, and that's something that we got to do and really dive into the film to get that experience, not just game experience.
Thanks, Josh.
Cool, appreciate it. Merry Christmas.